Greetings, everyone. This is the 197th segment of Be Inspired with Buzopat life-changing reality tonic. You're welcome to this platform where we embrace the truth that leads to our freedom. Yes, I am Honorable Ambassador Buzopat Sigwe, and I'll be talking on this topic, mental poisoning. Before I proceed, kindly subscribe, like, share to your friends and contacts, drop your comment and click on the notification button so that you will know when next my video drops. Yes. Mental poisoning. Anyone can be a victim of it, Though the essence of this segment is that you will not be one of them. But you must learn the facts about mental poisoning. Throughout ages, mental poisoning of one form or the other has enslaved millions of human beings. When I say enslaved, I mean enslaved, and tortured souls of men and women in all climes and conditions. Stay with me. Mental poisoning has been the weapon of the earliest and the most primitive human creatures. It has been the insidious, invisible, undetectable instrument. And when I say instrument, I mean instrument of torture or death in the hands of the both learned and the unlearned, the rich and the poor, the high and the low, even those who pose as saintly beings or holy ones. There's nobody to be spared. Everybody are all involved. It has been a means to an end in the hands of evil-minded potentials, rulers, physicians, magicians, priests, pastors, imams, schemers, racketers, blackmailers, and even pretending friends. So many of them that are just lying low, pretending to be what they are not, but they are all part of this. This segment, like I said, will enable you to protect yourself from seen and unseen negative influences. Do you know that mental poisoning can be employed by individuals from every cultural, economic, social background, different ones, and often without conscious knowledge? So, the essence is that you will not fall victim. So you need not fall victim to this insidious, devastating power. People don't see it, but it enters like kerosene when you are sitting where it is being perpetrated. There are thousands of unfortunate men and women who have fallen prey to the poisoned darts of subtle, morbid, and destructive suggestions. I wish you understand what I'm trying to tell you now. These suggestions that make someone believe unpleasant things about themselves or another person or situations. It comes in a subtle way, don't forget. The truth is that the unthinking mind readily seizes, all this explanation, every explanation or advice. They seize it upon themselves. They just carry it, they grab it, they swallow it, they just take it as being logical and true. But analytical minds will quickly discover faults in such theories and be able to know how to safeguard themselves and their mental health. But most people don't. That's why mental health are actually caked, and called addictive psychological toxic thought habits. It enters in and stays in, and you see yourself doing so many abominable things. This mental unhealthy, dispositions are irrational beliefs that are welcome in the life of so many people that are not aware. And this contributes to their upsetness. They are upset, they are sad, they are confused, they are irrational. They don't even know what they do. And they constantly still do it because they feel all these things, but they don't know where it's coming from. So they are still under where it's happening, and it's constantly happening. And they are getting crazier and crazier, entering deeper and deeper into this. And they won't know, and they don't know that it is from the tutelage, it's from what they hear, it's from where they are, it's from the same people that they think is their mentor, that they're getting polluted, contaminated and everything, but they still don't know. So they lose rights to a lot of reasoning. They don't find satisfaction in relationships anymore, in family life, nor even feel good about themselves. No, they don't. These people that are already influenced, they see the future as stormy, as confused, as foreign, and an uninhabitable place. And you know what? Contrary to their initial aspirations, they feel irreversibly miserable. People drink this poison. They drink this poison and get their minds, and because it pours into their mind based on the belief. And when you see them, they are as in, they don't know why they are crazy, and they don't even know where the whole thing is coming from. So what am I saying? Mental poisoning. Mental poisoning is something very, very terrible. But everyone, like I said, every one of us can be a victim to mental poisoning based on the people around you, based on the situation, based on where you are, based on the church you go, based on the people you attend, those in the circle, based on where and what you listen to and what you do. Based on it, you just can be a victim and you will not know. It is still the subtle, devilish device of millions of men and women who may or may not be wholly aware of his power and his death-dealing potency, because he kills. So many people have gone based on mental poisoning. We will get to where we had to analyze some of it, but I just want you to understand that you have every right not to be a victim. All of us, from day to day, hour to hour, in every walk of life, in every circumstances, can be possible victims of mental poisoning. So you need to understand this nature so that you can quickly recognize its infectious inoculations when you are under it and when you see, and then you'll be able to apply the antidotes, which is the wisdom of knowing and understanding how he operates, and be able to have this, of knowing when you need to actually look at this and no, this is not okay. Because the moment you're saddled with it, you will lose the right to think logically. You will lose the right. When they say number 6, your number 6 will disappear. Your common sense will no longer, will become common and no longer be, uncommon, which is meant to be. First, what do you need to do? You need to keep fear out of your head. And not just your head, you need to keep fear out of your children's head. The way you can discard poison, the way you will keep poison out, that's the same way you will keep fear out of your head and out of your children's head. Because that's the only way to start. They need to know so that they can be saved. You need to let go of people who poison your spirit. And that is wisdom. Because we will say letting go of people who actually pollute you, who poison your spirit, who gives you bad orientation. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. So there are people who I know who couldn't aspire, who couldn't become what they were created to become because they were under tutelage of, you cannot play ball. Football is for these people. Football is for this one is for, it's not for, it's for wayward people. This one, a lot of people left the talent that would have made them zillionaires today because of what they believe in. There's a lot of people that didn't watch TV. We're not able to watch TV because of the doctrine that, because of the tutelage, because of the, mental poisoning they got. There were a lot of people that couldn't accept blood transfusion because of the mental poisoning they got. There are people who are walking on hot ground, having the sole of their feet burning out because of the mental poisoning that they were fed with. Now they cannot wear any shoe because of that. Now there are people who we have seen in internet spaces, human beings eating grasses because where they were listening to, who they are under, said they should eat grass. Now, do you understand the level of mental poisoning that they must have been through that will make them as a human being eat grass? When we talk about this mental poisoning as devilish and destructive, don't even doubt it one bit. There are people that we have seen in internet spaces where human beings appear to be horses. They are now walking with their legs and their hands down and carrying the person who is teaching them. That person's feet does not go down and cannot be carried with any other thing, but must sit at the back of human beings. And they are religiously and beautiful and happily doing it. And they are proud. Some, they keep their hands and then their mentor will be walking. They are not carrying the mentor like that. There are people we have seen in internet spaces where they come to where their place of worship and they remove all their clothes, both male and female, and they enter there naked. There are a lot of people that have been molested, a lot of people, that we know has actually been disrespected. And they are happy because they were wired. They have been mentally poisoned to believe that that is the way to go. How many examples will I give? There are some regions that cannot educate their children because of the mental poisoning. They can't allow them go to civil education. Even secular schools, they cannot. Once you give birth, they take them to a particular place where they will become moron. They will not have opportunity of knowing their left from their right, and they sit there for the mental poisoning, and they become something else in the society. They are being wired to a particular thing they want them to become. And they don't know the truth. And now they are not even allowed to know the truth. You see, these people that mental poison you, they will not. They know that if you know the truth, it will set you free. So they will not, in any form, in any way, allow you to even come close to the truth. So they feed you with that evil. They feed you with the poison. They make sure you're polluted and contaminated so that you can use whatever and can become what they want you to become. There are so many mental poisoning prophecies that have destroyed siblings, they have destroyed couples, they have destroyed families, they have caused commotion in communities and in society at large. Mental poisoning. And you see those people that are fed, those people that are already victims of it, they will just be going, they think they know what they're doing. You see them puffing. Meanwhile, they're lost already. They're lost already. There are people, based on what they have fed, that are being lured to their death through different group, association, initiation, invocation, manipulation, different one of them. But because they cannot think right again, they will see their doom and they are walking into the doom because that's what they have been poisoned to believe, and that's who they are. So they can't reason anymore. The right is gone from them. They don't have right to think left or right again. Their logical reasoning is gone. They've been mentally poisoned. Like I said, this has nothing to do with poor or rich. It has nothing to do with high or low. It has nothing to do with big or small. It has to do with who is a victim. There's nobody that are spared at all. Nobody. So that's why you need to know. And you need to use this segment to understand that it's happening. Because most people don't even know that a lot of atrocities are happening. And because they don't know, they won't even check. And there's no way out. That's why it has been a weapon of the earliest and most primitive human creatures, like I said. It has been the insidious, invisible, undetectable instrument of torture or death in the hands of both learned and unlearned. Yes, in the hands of all, big and small, it doesn't matter. People who you respect, they use it. They use it. These mentally unhealthy people that I said are irrational, based on irrational belief. What they have fed, they've been mentally poisoned. They've been mentally poisoned. The way out is take fear out of it. Whenever you see them do this, they first make you believe. If you tell somebody, you will buy. If you tell, do not, most of them, they keep doing it until you will not even have any opportunity to discuss with anybody. And they will tell you, anybody who is against it is demon. There are some people here that no cockroach can pass, no rabbit can pass, not even a cobweb will be safe. Everything they see is a problem. Anything they see. Mental poisoning. They have been wired to believe, oh, even NEPA taking light. There's a way NEPA can take light and bring light again and take it again. There's trouble in Komopia. You know, it's problem everywhere. Mental poisoning. You cannot reason anymore. There's fear, and it's tied to fear. You're scared. They put that fear, increase that fear, promote that fear, you know, keep feeding you with it until you're lost. A lot of people cannot go to hospital. When they're sick, meanwhile, a lot of people have been mentally poisoned never to accept cesarean or surgery. They cannot do cesarean operation. And you know, all these things I'm saying, I want you to just imagine how many thousands of people, millions of people that have gone based on all this mental poisoning. You know how many women that have lost it because they couldn't do surgery. You know how many people that have left this world because they couldn't have blood transfusion. You know how many people that have lost their career and something else that they're not supposed to be because they couldn't follow the talent and skill that God has given them because somebody mental poison both their parents and them. You know how many people that needed to faith it out when they don't have faith. I don't say that people don't have faith, but you need to check yourself and know where you belong. Do you belong to those that will look at your head, hit your head and say, I say, get out, headache? Yes, it works. But if you know that you don't have what it takes to say, yeah, out, my dear, go to hospital. We've been fed with a lot. People have been fed with a lot. People have been poisoned mentally and they are doing a lot of things. There are people that cannot accept a particular kind of job. It's not possible. It's not for them. They have been mentally poisoned. That is not fit for them. There are people whose certificates can be used because they don't do that kind of a thing. There are people who can't even travel out because their great-great-great-grandfathers did not do that, so they can't do that. There are people who just cannot do anything because the mental poisoning that had dropped from their lineages said they can't do this. They can't. And they put that embargo on themselves. They put that limitation on themselves. They put that stamp of destruction on themselves and will refuse to hear anything. You know, there's a story of a woman that I read and I felt very bad. She had 4 stillbirths. You know, meanwhile, each of them, she will have 3-4 days labor. And by the time she eventually give birth to this babies that are weak, they will go. Another one, weak, go. Another one, even as they struggle, that one died even before she. Meanwhile, eventually, even the husband left her. But when God decided to show her mercy, she was able to get to a hospital where they will say, no, this kind of labor, you can't continue to push. The children she had today were because they cut her open to have them. Those ones that we said she should continue to push, she lost the 4 of them. So 6 different attempts. But because she was saved, the 2 she has today were because she were cut open. And she and her children are growing and becoming better. What are we saying? Mental poisoning spares no one. You see people you think that are big falling victims more than those who don't even know anything. You know, we need to check what we do. Like I said, day to day, hour to hour, every minute, people are falling victims. People are getting into, most times you check where friends are taking you to. Like I mentioned, pretending friends. They purposely lure you into where you're going to be hypnotized. So who are around you? Who is that person you call friend? Who are those associations? Who are those members of where you think you belong to? How have they come through for you in when you actually need them? What are the reasons why you people made? You know, what are their characters? What are they doing? Why should you trust them? So that's what I'm saying. Mental poisoning has no, you know. And if you understand this, don't forget, you'll be able to recognize its infectious, inoculation, and then be able to use the antidote of truth and wisdom so that you can effectively leave those their theories and whatever behind in order to avoid being contaminated. Yes, this is my message for us today. This is just what I want us to discuss so that you will get to know that these things happen, and then you'll be able to save yourself and save your children and save people around you have to be victim. Yes, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Be Inspired with Buzopat. Follow me at Instagram, Be Inspired with Ambassador.Buzo. Follow me at Facebook, Be Inspired with Buzopat. A Moment of Truth with Buzo. Follow my handle, Honorable Ambassador Buzopat to see with another handles. Follow me at TikTok, Be Inspired with Buzopat, and we also have another Facebook account again. And DM me. That will continue to do this. So many stories, so many things I need to talk about, so many things I read, my dear. I'll keep wondering, is it existing, is it happening? But true, they are happening. There are so many things I'll bring up because I don't want to keep bringing up people's story because they are giving it to me. They're talking to me because they are confused and all that. But most times there are some I will read and need us to discuss. I'll come here to discuss it. There are people we know that once you're mentally poisoned, your half of you is gone. You'll be living, but you're not existing. Or you'll be existing, but you're not living. You know? And you'll be existing, but you're not living. That's why I said that mental poisonings are called addictive, psychological, toxic thoughts, habits. Don't fall victim. If you already want, find a way of reaching out for people to help throw you out, because when you're mentally poisoned, you can no longer help yourself. You're lost. Can no longer. And if you want to seek for, from them, they will tell you, they will know how to discard it and remove your fear because they love you to be in that fear so that you can be what they want it to be. Peace be unto you. Be wise and be free. Love you.